Hi everyone, welcome to today's webinar. This is the Affirmations for Self-Healing webinar with the Ananda Monastery. This is Brahmachari Premdas and I am Brahmachari Jemal. We're happy to be here with you. And today's affirmation is on patience. So I will read from Swami Kriyananda's book, Affirmations for Self-Healing, and we can listen to the reading, but why don't we first just start with a prayer together. Divine Mother, Heavenly Father, Friend, Beloved God, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswar, and our beloved Guru, Paramahansa Yogananda, we humbly bow to you all. O great ones, guide us today that we may understand how to have patience, patience that is as wonderful and deep as your patience. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So here's the reading. Patience, it has been well said, is the shortest path to God. To attune the heart to the rhythms of eternity, one must first adjust himself to life's longer rhythms. He should not allow his mind to become absorbed in concentration on the little ripples at the surface of the sea. Patience means also adjusting to whatever is in life, rather than wishing it were something else. Patience is a prerequisite for every type of success, for it is when we work with things as they are that we can change them to whatever we might like them to be. Let's do the affirmation together, first in a loud voice. I am neither the ripples at the surface of the sea, nor yet the crashing waves. I am the vast ocean deeps, unaffected by mighty storms, untouched by any superficial change. Now in a normal voice, I am neither the ripples at the surface of the sea, nor yet the crashing waves. I am the vast ocean deeps, unaffected by mighty surface storms, untouched by any superficial change. Now in a whisper, I am neither the ripples at the surface of the sea, nor yet the crashing waves. I am the vast ocean deeps, unaffected by mighty surface storms, untouched by any superficial change. And now mentally taking it into the subconscious mind. I am neither the ripples at the surface of the sea, nor yet the crashing waves. I am the vast ocean deeps, unaffected by mighty surface storms, untouched by any superficial change. And one more time, taking it mentally deep into the superconscious mind. I am neither the ripples at the surface of the sea, nor yet the crashing waves. I am the vast ocean deeps, unaffected by mighty surface storms, untouched by any superficial change. And now please listen to the prayer that Swamiji has given us. Long I have called thee, Lord, but thou hast not answered me. Ah, but for what long eons didst thou endure my fickleness? In this life, Lord, and if need be through eternity, I will keep calling thee. I'll now hand it over to Brahmachari Premdas.
Thank you, Jemal, for that wonderful reading. And so, dear friends, welcome back. And so, today's topic is patience. So, when I was trying to prepare for this topic, I was thinking of what does the internet say? What does patience mean? And on the internet, the I think this is what we all understand, also can relate to. It says patience is the quality of being able to stay calm and not get angry, especially when there is a difficulty or you have to wait a long time. It's the quality of being able to stay calm and not get angry, especially when there is a difficulty or you have to wait a long time. Yeah, I think in the beginning, even I thought, yeah, that's patience. So now, so now it'll be much more interesting is when you think of these lines, what will help us to stay calm? It's saying patience is being calm. So I'm thinking of what will help me to stay calm and not get angry. And the answer to it is in Swamiji's reading. I'll try to read it again, what Jamalji already read, that we have to attune the heart to rhythms of eternity. One must first adjust himself to life's longer rhythms. He should not allow his mind to become absorbed in concentration on little ripples at the surface of the sea. So, this clearly says that we should not get absorbed into the superficial little things. And also, patience means also adjusting to whatever is in life rather than wishing it were something else. When we try to follow this principle, of uh, of trying to adjust to life to whatever it is and not trying to imagine or trying to make something different, then what happens, we don't get angry. Many times we get angry because we want the things to be something else. And so this is a very good explanation which Swamiji has given. I think this was a good way to start this session. And then one more thought that came to me while preparing for this thing is how much patient God and gurus are with us. They waited on us for many incarnations to even like start trekking this path, and they have infinite patience. I think this quality will help us when we think of all the people. Sometimes we work with, all of us have to deal with people. We have to be in good communication, and many times we are not patient with them. We just think since we know something, we just expect them to do it. So because we don't know how many lifetimes it has taken us to get some of those qualities. So I think it'll be interesting for us to tune into this aspect of patience of God and gurus so that we can be better friends to other people. And I think it was Params Yogananda ji. Once he was hurrying to get to his lecture on time. There was time running off, and he was hurrying, and he was. Then suddenly, one of the person, his companion, said to him, "Yogananda ji, don't be nervous. Don't be nervous." And Yogananda ji replied back, "You can run calmly or you can run nervously, but not to run when you are late is to be lazy." I think I'll just repeat it what Paramahଂsa Yogananda ji said. You can run calmly or you can run nervously, but not to run when you're late is to be lazy. I think this is such an important thing for us to know. Sometimes we think patience is being lazy, laid back, just rest back. No, that's not what Paramahଂsa Yogananda ji referring to here. And also, Swamiji also writes in a different place, the active side of patience is perseverance, which is required in all large projects. So, if you all think of patience as this perseverance, active side, because any project you do, it always needs constant energy. But many times people don't have that perseverance. So, also it will be nice if you all develop this quality, active quality of patience, which is perseverance to complete the project, whatever you start on. So just make sure that you complete the project before you move on to next one. And also the patience can be like a deal breaker. There's one more point I was tuning into. Like for example, if you accept people as they are and not as you wish them to be, then you'll be making friends and not creating enemies. This is such a good point. I see sometimes all this elderly guru guys around me who demonstrate this quality, and that's why they're winning friends. And sometimes, yeah, the younger ones like me, sometimes I get into trouble with few of them because I try to make things to be themselves, trying to put demands rather on the people. Now there is also one joke which Swamiji narrated in one of the videos. I was just seeing it. There were two tourists in France. It was this very famous museum, maybe Louvre in France. So there were two of them. So they had like limited time. So so both of them decided this way. One of them said, I look at the paintings and you read the description. This way we'll complete the round in short time. So one person said, yeah, I hope you got it. Like when Omiji says it very beautifully there. So sometimes we are so impatient to even enjoy few things. Like, yeah, if what happens if you even we don't have time sometimes to enjoy a painting when we go to a museum, we want to make sure that we put the entire round in whatever 45 minutes time we have. Instead of that, maybe it's better to just tune into one painting and just go deep in it and just try to enjoy that one instead of trying to run all around the place and not even getting anything from it. And also, why is patience called the fastest path to God? Like in the reading, it says, Swami Kriyananda ji explains that it's the fastest path because you'll never find God except here and now. Because many times people live in the past where it is like they are laid back and they're like thinking of what happened already, and they don't want to be in the present. And other people are in the future. They want to think, okay, even right now they'll be like two steps ahead, thinking, okay, what should I do next? Sometimes, yeah, this is a quality even I'm working on, where we have to stay in the present. I think this is one of the efficient ways to do anything. So if you're living in the future, then it might take us few incarnations later or in the past. But if you're in the present and now, that's why you'll be able to find God here. And that's why it's referred to as patience is the fastest path to God, because you'll be able to find God here and now. And patience is a quality where you're totally in the present. You're not worrying about future or past. And I think at this time, I would like to request Brahmachari Jemal to share now.
Thanks, Premdas. Premdas was reading the um, definition of patience, and he was saying that it's the ability to stay calm or not get angry, especially for long periods of time. And I was also thinking that patience means the ability to not do what you want, maybe for a long period of time. That perhaps you want to eat lots and lots of ice cream every day, but your doctor tells you your blood sugar number is a little high and you shouldn't. And so maybe you decide to eat ice cream, I don't know, once a year or something. And it's that quality within ourselves that restrains what we want to do and weighs it against what we should do. And perhaps this ice cream example wasn't so good, but let me give another example. Um, Perhaps, well, this example is great. It's not even a perhaps, it actually happened. So Swamiji, when Swami Kriyananda was in his body in Ananda village in California, someone came and said, look, person X in the community really is doing this wrong behavior, needs to be told to do the right thing. So please, Swamiji, you tell this person to do the right thing. Swamiji said, okay. So the person who asked was waiting. A day went by, 2 days, a week. Still, this man was behaving in whatever wrong way it was. I'm sure it wasn't something terrible, but so this person's waiting for Swamiji to say waiting. This little game went on for 10 years. Swamiji never said anything to the man, and then 10 years later, Swamiji said something to the man, and then the man received that advice, and everything worked. Now, the original lady who went to Swamiji and said, please tell this man, she remembered, she was actually paying attention also, which is a form of patience, to be able to remember and pay attention to a particular, I don't know, situation in life and remember what needs to be done. She remembered also for 10 years. So she said to Swamiji, why did you wait so long? I asked you 10 years ago to do this. And Swamiji said, well, I didn't feel the man would be ready to receive that advice I was going to give him. I could have said it, but he wouldn't have acted on it. He wouldn't have done it. He would not have taken the right action afterwards. But when he was ready to receive this advice, then I gave it. 10 years, that's quite a bit of patience. I think most people wouldn't even remember 10 years later. It's also credit to the lady who was able to ask Swamiji 10 years later. Many people, most people on this planet are very rajasic, and they forget what they're doing 10 minutes later and what they said they were going to do or what they wanted to do. Setting our intentions in life and being very clear of what we want to do is very important. The first step in that is asking God, what do you want me to do here? And this is really the most important step. But then once we feel that, as Premdas was saying, we should follow that through to completion and be a man or woman of our word. And in this story of Swamiji, that Swamiji was a man of his word. It just took him 10 years to fulfill it. And it wasn't because he forgot or that he was so rajasic that he ran off in some other direction and forgot. It was that he was waiting for the right time. There's another point I wanted to make this evening, and that is, if you are in any relationship, husband, wife, friend, boss, whatever, worker, this type of thing, let's just, any human relationship, let's just take friends. Perhaps you and your friend have some disagreement. It's a nice thing to wait until both of you are calm and say, okay, we're disagreeing right now, it's okay, but let's discuss this later when we're both calm. That when we are calm, then we can reason clearly. We need to have, if our emotions are very ruffled, we won't be able to reason clearly. And to be able to have deep agreement, we need to be able to both feel clearly and reason clearly. And I've found that this is a very good thing to do in human relationships. We just say, okay, all right, maybe you're right, and why don't we just talk about this tomorrow or a little bit later? That in that way, it can preserve friendships. And again, this is another aspect of patience. And it's not saying, oh, I'm scared, I don't want to talk about this right now, or trying to put it off for later, which is a tamasic tendency. This is actually a very sattvic tendency of making a mental resolution to indeed talk about it. That if there are problems in a human relationship, suppressing them won't do any good. That will just come out later in some form of anger. But making a mental resolution to talk about it and then coming back together when both people are calm is a wonderful thing to do. Now, with the definition that Premdas gave of patience, it was saying the ability to stay calm or not to get angry, especially for long periods of time. And very interestingly, it is suppressed desires that lead to anger. And so, in a way, that definition of patience is right. I don't think I have any authority to challenge the dictionary. Perhaps there was another entry in there, but anyway, we're thinking of it also in terms of connotation, I think the word is, of how we feel about it, or what it's popularly known as, this particular word. And so indeed, understanding the word also to delay our desires for the right time is a proper understanding of the word patience. Now, I wanted to talk about the patience that the masters have, because really, we think we might be a patient human being. The masters can see many, many incarnations into the future. This story of Swamiji and his 10 years waiting is nothing compared perhaps waiting 10 incarnations until a disciple is ready to hear the right advice. Now, for us, we speak about this because we want to be perfect disciples. We want to have that attitude, Master, I'm open to your correction at all times. And of course, Paramahansa Yogananda is not in the body, but we have to listen for his silent whisper in the back of our mind. We have to listen to him speaking through the birds, through children, through our friends that we have these deep harmonious relationships with, and feel Master's presence in them that he may speak to us through them. And the most important part of this is having an open heart so that we inwardly are saying, I'm ready for your guidance, Master, for any guidance, and mold me as you wish. Now, this doesn't mean that we suffer from what the Catholics call scrupulosity and are always worried, okay, Master told me to go left. Now he wants me to go right. Now he doesn't want me to eat that, and he wants me to take a deep breath right now. And we can get so caught up in our minds when really God doesn't care about any of those little things. Eat what you want, do what you want, it's all right. But are we calmly thinking of God? And are we subtly listening for this occasional guidance that says, maybe try this, maybe try that? And look, we're going to make all kinds of mistakes in this lifetime. It's all right. The goal for us is to constantly keep checking back in inwardly in a patient manner so that we can learn to hear that guidance better the next time and act on it. The final thing that I want to talk about is please, if you want, it's not so good to give advice when people don't ask for it. It's not received and it doesn't work. So take this guidance if you want it. And that is, if you can practice meditation in a patient way, you'll go far. That means in one session where you sit and perhaps you're practicing with a mantra, to patiently just stay focused on that mantra and just keep watching it and patiently let the breath get more and more calm. This patience also means working with ourselves. And if today's meditation's not so good, it's all right. Tomorrow's will be better. And to give ourselves that long rhythm of eternity as we strive to merge back into that oneness with the infinite. So I need to hand it back over to Premdas now. It's been a joy. Thank you.
Thank you, Jemal. Sorry. Yeah, I was just figuring out the settings here. Okay, now in this part, we are going to do the affirmation together. We'll do it few more times, like first in a louder voice, next in a normal voice, in a whisper, then in silently. So please join along. Let's try to tune into the quality of patience. Patience. So let's affirm loudly now. I'm neither the ripples at the surface of the sea, nor yet the crashing waves. I'm the vast ocean deeps, unaffected by mighty surface storms, untouched by any superficial change. Once again, I'm neither the ripples at the surface of the sea, nor yet the crashing waves. I'm the vast ocean deeps, unaffected by mighty surface storms, untouched by any superficial change. Now let's do this in a normal voice. I am neither the ripples at the surface of the sea, nor yet the crashing waves. I am the vast ocean deeps, unaffected by mighty surface storms, untouched by any superficial change. Once again in a normal voice. I am neither the ripples at the surface of the sea, nor yet the crashing waves. I am the vast ocean deeps, unaffected by mighty surface storms, untouched by any superficial change. Now please repeat in a whisper. I am neither the ripples at the surface of the sea, nor yet the crashing waves. I am the vast ocean deeps, unaffected by mighty surface storms, untouched by any superficial change. Once again in whisper, I am neither the ripples at the surface of the sea, nor yet the crashing waves. I am the vast ocean deeps, unaffected by mighty surface storms, untouched by any superficial change. Now let's affirm mentally. Let's take this deep into our subconsciousness. Let's concentrate deeply. I'm neither the ripples at the surface of the sea, nor yet the crashing waves. I'm the vast ocean deeps, unaffected by mighty surface storms, untouched by any superficial change. I'm neither the ripples at the surface of the sea, nor yet the crashing waves. I'm the vast ocean deeps, unaffected by mighty surface storms, untouched by any superficial change. This time, let's try to offer it at the super consciousness, trying to focus here at the spiritual eye. Please repeat it here at the spiritual eye. Try to repeat it here. I'm neither the ripples at the surface of the sea, nor yet the crashing waves. I'm the vast ocean deeps, unaffected by mighty surface storms, untouched by any superficial change. Once again, let's repeat it mentally at the spiritual eye, keeping our focus here. I'm neither the ripples at the surface of the sea, nor yet the crashing waves. I'm the vast ocean deeps, unaffected by mighty surface storms, untouched by any superficial change. Let's please mentally repeat this prayer. Lord, long have I called thee, but thou hast not answered me. Ha! But for what long eons didst thou endure my fickleness? In this life, Lord, and if need be, through eternity, I will keep calling thee. I will keep calling thee. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, Guru Bhai's friends, for joining us today. And we wish you a very blessed day, time, here and now, so that you can cultivate this quality of patience more deeply and reach God very quickly. Okay, thank you again for joining us.